Hey, by the
Hi,
way,
Corey. I'm
I'm
still
going,
trying to get my lighting. Does my lighting look okay, or is it too bright?
I don't know. I'm not a good director, but we are live. Like we're already live. I
Okay,
accidentally
let me
hit the
take it
wrong
out.
button first.
Okay, that's good. That should work. Hi, Nicole. I'm live already. Okay,
So
we starting.
it, we're on the air. So introduce yourself, Kimba. Is it Kimba?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I'm Kimba Garcia with RKG Roofing and Renovations. Corey hit me up at 5 a.m. this morning and asked me if I wanted to do this, so here we are.
I was actually reading through the comments and I was like, we need a girl on the show, but I was like, all the girls I know are shy. It's like I don't know any boisterous women. And then I'm scrolling down my news feed, and there you are, like playing with cups of water. I was like,
Perfect. Did you like that video?
well, I didn't watch it. I just seen it, and then you were ripping felt paper, and I was like, I don't know that I need to know the difference in the types of felt paper, but this information is probably going to do her a lot of good for the roofing business. I would think. Like, I'm not sure though, because I don't know the difference. You could tell them now. Like, you could say, hey, this is the type of felt paper to use if you want to.
I don't have it to show them now. I'd have to all the way go get it. Felt paper deteriorates with the elements over time. Synthetic underlayment will not, especially more so for water for heat, because felt paper just cooks to the decking and synthetic won't do that. So especially for Texas summer, synthetic is the way to go.
So I mean, call me dumb. I don't know shit about roofing, like absolutely nothing. I love seeing the roofers argue on the internet when
Yeah.
it's like the drip edge is not over the felt paper or under the felt paper, or if it which way it should go. And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like because I'm sure when you see real estate beefs, which we have enough of them, that
Yeah.
you're like, I don't really know what this is about. That's kind of like me. I'm like, I don't know which way's right or wrong. Like, I mean, how does it go? Does it go above the felt or under the felt? This is the official word, by the way.
It's what? And if it goes
Like
under.
the metal, it goes under. See, that makes sense because then the water can't go under the metal.
Yes.
But I see people argue it both ways all day, all day.
Yeah, I mean, it can also depend if it's on the eave or the rake. I don't know. That's more of a Robbie question. I mean, I know systems, but I don't know. I'm more of the marketing person, and I do
I
the
don't.
recruiting. I know roofing, but I know it goes under, but that's really not one of the ones I'm going to sit here and get super in depth with, because I'm not even going to
Care.
know all there is to know about the drip
Well, I
edge.
don't. The only reason I ask is because anytime there's a dust up, it's like if you were going to ask me right now the proper way to do the taxes on a sub two, I mean I would tell you the way we did it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I don't know if it's proper or not because it's like you see CPAs argued out, and then you go look at the actual way that the court rulings went, and you can pick a court ruling from any side of the aisle you want to argue, and we just do it the way that benefits us more, which is taking all the gain up front instead of trying to do it on an installment sale, which the IRS explicitly says is illegal. So
It
that's
is?
to do it on installment sale on inventory.
Oh,
So
I thought you
if
meant all
you
up front. That's the way that I would do it too.
so if you buy it and you buy it with the intent to sell it, that's inventory, and you can't
Right.
do inventory on an installment sale. So now I'm not a CPA. This isn't legal advice. I don't care. The cool thing about it is when it goes through as income. So you bought something for 50,000, you sold it for 100. Now you got 50,000 in income that you didn't realize. It still shows up as on your P&L as your taxes as profit, and then you depreciate your rentals against it, and it works out anyway. So my advice to anybody that was just going to do owner finance and sub two would be hold one or two as a rental. That way you get the depreciation against the income, and then you got this popping ass P&L, and you can go actually out and borrow some money. So
Nice.
we said we were going to talk about your sister.
Let's talk about it, Corey. Let's talk about it.
You seem mad about it. I mean, you seem a little salty.
It's because you had a date scheduled and then you got a girlfriend the weekend before the Monday that you had lunch.
That's
Just
not
what
what
I'm just going
happened.
off. Everything I see on Facebook's true. That's what I read.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. I was in Fort Worth and had to shit.
I know. I get that.
That was
She
like
thought that she was the kind of woman that used quality toilet paper.
exactly. But I messed
You
it.
were raised to use no cheap shit toilet paper. So you
I
knew
ended
the
up having to
place
go to Ryan Jackson's house. I ended up having to go to Ryan Jackson's house, and he didn't even have toilet paper. Like I just had to rub my ass on his rug, like the little rug that's in front of the shower. I just had to like rub my ass.
I all the way have a bidet, so keep that in mind next time you need to use somebody's toilet. I mean, I'm just saying that squirt.
I don't know what that is. I got a butthole sprayer.
That's what it is.
No, I got like next to my toilet. I've never touched it in my entire life. It actually flooded my house when I bought it. The thing that you get from a sink that you like wash your like spoon off with, there's one next to my toilet tapped into the hot water. Okay. It's got a knob on it. It's tapped into the hot water. And there's a drain on the floor next to my toilet. I shit you not. I'm going to take a picture and put it on Facebook. I have no idea who used this thing, but whenever we first bought the house, we turned the water on. Okay. We get the water turned on, and they always check the meter, make sure you go in the house with the person. There's no water running. And like 3 days later, my business partner's driving by and they see water running like out the front door, and the butthole sprayer line blew and flooded the house. And that's when we found out that there was no insurance that would cover a vacant house. But I don't touch the butthole sprayer because I only imagine like you got the little thing and you're like spraying your butthole, like gravity's got to come down. Like the poo particles got to fall on your hand, which means it's on the butthole sprayer.
In the toilet. So you sit down, it's a heated seat that sits at a 45-degree angle, which makes more sense than flat if you really think about it. You can get a 45-degree angle. Then it sprays up like this, and then it even blow dries you.
45-degree angle. It's a coffee mug.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that does make sense, but I've never used one. We're not fancy like that. In Groesbeck, when you want a bidet, you just throw a drain in the floor and run a hot water line up next to your toilet.
You mentioned my husband in the description. This month is our 3-year anniversary. For our 2-year wedding anniversary, I asked for a bidet, and I got one.
The only bidet I ever knew about was my friend Wesley's, and my friend Cole shit in it. It was prom. It was an accident. We were like 16. You know what I mean? He's like, that toilet don't flush right. And that was our history lesson on bidets. But I don't know how to spell it, so I can't say it. So what like your business, you do remodeling, you do construction, you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like if somebody needs anything, like if I need a fence built, do I call you?
Yeah, we do fences. I do like to kind of emphasize the difference in a handyman and a full renovation company. You know, typically we don't do any projects under $2,500. So if you need like a door replaced or something, we wouldn't be your person. But a full fence, we do a lot of really high-end house flips. We've done a lot out in Dallas. We've been kind of more on the Fort Worth side this last year. But a lot of the houses that we do, the investors pick up, and then by the time we do a renovation on them, they'll typically ARV around between $600,000 and $800,000. We've been doing some more in the $300,000 to $400,000 range, but we'll basically go in there, gut these houses, and then make them beautiful again. I'm really proud of our renovations division because we pride ourselves on our houses sell really fast. And it comes down to that attention to detail on everything. Very crisp edges, very clean look, very bright space.
I've seen the pictures. Like, it's fancy.
Awesome.
Like, I wouldn't call you for my mobile home in Fort Worth. Not because I don't think you can do it, but because...
And I actually tell everybody mobile homes is really more of a specialty. It's a lot different. It's a whole different ballgame, honestly. And you know that. So it's funny because you and I kind of work on different ends of the spectrum a little bit when it comes to that. But yeah, we don't do anything with mobile homes.
Well, I think the contractor.
I can do the roof on a mobile home. So let me throw that in there.
I think the contractor, like investors beef, is like the chicken or the egg. You know what I mean? Because y'all's job, I feel like, is way harder than us. And I feel like we as investors have to own everything that goes wrong during a job. So y'all come in with a bid, there's a change order when you find termites. That's us. You know what I mean? That's not y'all. But those are where the discrepancies start coming up, where you pull something back and it's not like you thought it was. And they're like, oh, no, you bid it like this. It's like you can't get blood out of it.
That's really the thing about us though, is we really don't hit people with a lot of change orders unless you all the way changed your mind. If we scoped it out and you ordered a shower this way and decided once the tile's up, I don't like the color I chose anymore, that's a change order. But typically we're really detailed on going through and finding any and everything that we think, that we're going to have to be looking at. If there's anything huge, then we'll come back. I mean, there has been sometimes when it's something really big, really out of the ordinary, it's just not a hit that I could take. But even then, we'll pass along our contractor pricing. We're not trying to,
I got you.
we're not trying to rape anybody when it comes down to that. But we really like to build relationships with our investors and make it a team effort. And that's really the great part about using us, is you can really literally just buy the house, tell us what you want to do to it, and then sell the house. Everything in between when it comes to getting this house ready to hit the market, outside of landscaping, cleaning, and staging, which I can refer you all those people. We do it all. And I always say, since I've been involved in this, the fastest way to lose money as an investor is to pick a shitty contractor. And that's really something that I'm proud of, is once you hand your project over to us, you're good.
This is true. We did a shower, the most expensive shower I've ever done. We had $12,000 in it at the end for just one shower. And the problem with it was, like, I wanted this fancy shower in my mind because I'd been to like a hotel with a fancy shower. But the guy that was doing it, he had never done a fancy shower. Now, he was a good plumber, but common sense was missing. So he plumbed everything in, hot and cold. You've got two controls. You got two hot controls, two cold controls, and then you've got the selector. So like your side of the shower, my side of the shower, we got a rain can that we both can go to. We've got a regular shower head. Then you got body sprayers. And you just had this little selector. Well, it was all great, except for the selector didn't work right. The hot and cold didn't work right. So when you turn the shower on, it was all going to the rain can all the time. And then, it just, like, you couldn't, like, it should have just been on the shower one was a single, but it was on the rain can. And then, the double, anyways, it just wouldn't work right. And at that point we were already tiled in, and like the shower is completely done and it doesn't work properly.
One of the ones we're doing right now, we just took over from a contractor, and I walked into the bathroom and I'm like, it's a good thing this isn't the master, because this is obviously a kid's shower. The shower was mounted very low. It works for me, but I'm 5'2". It definitely should have been put up higher, but it's definitely little details like that not everybody thinks about. That happens.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, this doesn't work right. You know what I mean? Like the rain can is not the singular. Like the shower is the singular. Then you have options for, the body sprayers. You can turn every one of them on by itself except the one that needed to be on by itself. And I was like, this isn't right. But when you're looking at the control valve, when you're just looking at it sitting there, and you're, a plumber that hasn't done that before, the mistake was after you got it plumbed in, not trying it. We got water, turn the sumbitch on.
Before you tiled it all in.
Before you tiled it all in. And so we had to rip that whole thing out, redo it, and retile it, which is why we ended up with what we ended up in the project. Now, overall, we did lose money on that job, but it didn't have nothing to do with that shower. That shower actually sold the house. Thank God for that shower. But we ended up losing $20,000 on that deal. So it was kind of a lesson learned.
And that happens. A lot of investors will hire a contractor, try to GC their own project, but they don't really know much about construction. So they're trying to manage these subcontractors, not really knowing what's going on. Where the project that we're working on right now that we took over from another contractor, that was the investor's experience, is by the time we got in there, we're like, man, there's so much electrical, plumbing, there's so much that now has to be redone. And that's definitely something for people that are new to getting into investing that I think that they need to be aware of, is you really can't just go with the cheapest bid. It's going to cost you more, and that is how you're going to lose money.
Yes, 9 times out of 10. Dirt Guy has joined the stream. he's going to give us a weather update because if y'all don't know Doc Dirt Guy Robinson, I don't watch the weather because the weather doesn't pertain to me. I don't go outside. So if I walk outside and it's raining, I don't really care. It's like, whatever. Y'all lose money, though. So Dirt Guy's going to stop in every day and give us a weather update. I'm going to try to add him to the stream, see if we can get Dirt Guy. Doc ain't got service, though. Doc's on that he's on that Cody Creamer internet. We'll wait for him to get into a better spot. The moment I saw him, he was on a piece of equipment. So, Kimba, you're a Facebook marketer. See, we got all kinds of stuff up here on the list. We got sisters, we got roofs, we've got Dalton can
Is
eat.
that what that is behind you, our discussion list?
Well, I meant to write some out. I had a bunch of good ideas last night while I was sleeping, but then when I woke up, this is what I came up with. I've got the Vegas Mastermind up there. Should you bring your own sheets? I mean, there's an orgy bed at the house. Everybody keeps saying I should quit saying that because married women won't let their husbands come to this mastermind because there's an orgy bed. But I don't know how else to describe the bed. It's two California queens pushed together. What do you think's happening in that bed? Like, I don't know what
athlete. What is this event that you're having?
The event is February 20th. February 20th. We haven't started marketing yet because we don't have the website up, but we have sold a few tickets. I put it out in the group, and that was it. We do need sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor, the sponsorship ticket.
The orgy bed, perfect.
The orgy bed. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, what do you need two California king size beds pushed together for?
To put all the children that all want to sleep together and have a camp out and build forts.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why they built this. This house has a boxing ring, like an entire boxing ring.
Is it an Airbnb or what?
Yes, it's an Airbnb. We got the biggest mansion they had on Airbnb in Vegas for Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. So we got it for 4 nights. I was going to get it for Sunday night too, but I figured nobody would be there but me. So it was kind of a greedy request to, try to get it for Sunday night as well if it was just going to be me and Dalton. But I mean, it's going to be a fun event for me. It's built around GrowthCon. Do you know Grant Cardone? Are you a Grant Cardone fan? Yeah, it's built around his GrowthCon. Like, got a suite to GrowthCon, got this house. We're doing our one-day mastermind. We're going to have specific people come in and talk about different things on that Thursday before GrowthCon, and then we're all going to take a limo to GrowthCon every day, hang out in the suite. And I'm going for private capital. That's why I'm going. I think the connections you make in the room and the inspiration and the motivation, all that's great. But I want to meet salespeople that are making $300,000 and $400,000 a year, and I want to talk to them about real estate. It's my passion. I want to get them involved. I want to see if I can make them hard money lenders. I want to see if I can get them into some multifamily deals. That's why I'm going. For you, you're a Facebook marketer. Your copyright, this is something that I meant to write down on the board. You're one of the best copywriters I see. I mean, I think Jamie Wade, Dave Hill, Dave Howell, and you are 3 of the best copywriters. I don't have that natural talent. I'm not a good writer. I write like I speak. I misspell. I got to rearrange things all the time. It takes me if I type something out, it takes me 40 minutes to get it right. And I just hate. To be
honest with you, it does me too. Sometimes it does me too. And I have to go back and edit and go back and edit. But social media is such a strong tool that it's crazy not to use it. And I don't call myself a social media marketer. I do it. I do a lot of it. But I'm I don't know, you're fire your guru. I don't like to be a social media marketing guru. I don't really refer to myself as that. I just do what makes sense to me for my company. And I have read a lot of books and watched lots of YouTube and done all of that and progressively gotten a lot better at it over the last couple of years. But I'm really trying to get my sales team more on board individually for creating that online personality. I think you've done a great job with forming a personality. I mean, people either love you or hate you, but they know who you are and what you do. That's why.
I mean, you just said it. It's just you and it's just me. And this is who we are, and we're on the internet, and that's the product. Didn't have to work that hard at it. I actually had to clean up. I mean, that's what I need to do. I need to do a daily segment where I find my Facebook memories and show one of them. how do I don't never get on the computer though, so I don't know where they're at.
So
Um,
go to the same where you click, it'll say your profile, then it'll have your business pages and your groups. And
yeah.
then down there it'll say friends, and then you'll see memories. You can
So
click.
that's what. Yes, there it is. Memories. So that these things for me, um, I was without purpose or direction before I got into real estate. Found Grant Cardone, read 10x rule. It just this is a healthy place for me to channel energy. Where the oil field was a lot of money, and that's kind of how I think about Facebook. We were talking about that last night. Facebook and YouTube. You've got a big presence on Facebook. You don't hardly have one on YouTube. Well, I keep getting banned on Facebook now. Like I can't go live on Facebook. That's why I'm on YouTube Live. You know what I mean? But the results that I'm seeing on YouTube are way different, way better because what ends up happening is, and you can use, I use TubeBuddy, but you can use all these different streaming softwares to where you can go on, and I'll show y'all some of this because I think it's really, really cool and important. I don't know if you can see this, but maybe you can go back to
I
it.
can't. But speaking of my sister, her and I were talking about that today. She's like, it's barely in my mind stream that YouTube Live is a thing. And I said, that's what I said, but maybe we need to do a show together.
No, well, look at this. So,
Yeah.
See your Jim's fridge.
I don't care about that. So this right here is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you can see all the stats because TubeBuddy tells you all the stats over here to the side.
Yeah.
So like right now, if I wanted to copy all of his tags, I could take all these tags and copy it. So if there's somebody out there like Max Maxwell or that has way more success in real estate and YouTube than I do, I can just go grab his tags right here. I just hit copy and I got them. And
Nice.
then I can kind of adjust them. The other thing you can do is you can show the search rankings. So this right here is number 9 in health. So if you Google health, this is going to be the number 9 video to come up. This is going to be the number 1 Arnold Schwarzenegger video to come up. It's going to be the number 6 Jim and Fridge video to come up, so on and so forth. You can get it like where Facebook is instant gratification. YouTube's like the long game because YouTube, if you put out how-to videos, you know, how to tell which felt paper to use long term would be a good one.
Yeah.
You put that out when people Google, you know, how do I figure this out? We all go to YouTube to learn. You know what I mean? We all go to YouTube to learn how to, you know, change transmission on our truck or whatever. If I'm wanting to do it myself and I'm Googling about it and I run across you and you're the foremost expert on roofing on YouTube, putting out the most content on YouTube, when I realize I don't really want to do this because it looks hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Him.
Who am I going to call? Like, you know what I mean? So when you're putting the content out on Facebook, it's not going to show up on a search. It's going to show up right then. So that person that's on Facebook at work is going to see it and be like, oh man, top of mind awareness. I do have a bad roof and I do need to call Kimba. But that person that's online Googling, you know, they're not going to find you right now the way it's set up.
How do you feel about using that in a more localized market? You know, right now my business is only DFW. I do have intentions and plans to expand, but that's why I've been focusing so much on Facebook is because it's really good for a local market.
You know, I don't really know. I think you can run. Yeah. I think if you're wanting to have a localized market in the DFW, you put the content on YouTube, and then you pay the ad copy. Like if you're going to spend money on ads, you pay for the ad in DFW to where now whenever they do Google it, they could be watching somebody else's video, but you're the ad that shows before the video. So
yeah.
That's the one.
That's something my sister and her company have gotten more into lately is putting ads on YouTube, but they sell nationally. So,
well, your sister, they do like badass cook trailers, right?
Yeah.
Like for like tailgating and stuff like that. What's the name of the company?
Outdoor Mobile Grills. And then it's Irwin. The product's called Outdoor Mobile Grills. Their business is Irwin Manufacturing out of Azle, Texas. But yeah, my dad actually originally invented these trailers and he holds the patent on them. And the reason that he did it was conveniently enough with all the hurricanes and floods, the flood happening in Houston and everything. That was really his mission behind it was to create something that in catastrophe events could feed lots of people really quick. And then they kind of branched over into, like you said, they turned out to be cool for tailgating, hunting, fishing. And then churches started using them, and then little league organizations started using them. And then I bought one for RKG because I use it for marketing. And we go out to HOA events and do things like that for the community, and it's cool.
Well, and I want to buy one for Roughneck Real Estate because we're eventually going to, party a lot more. That's the way I look at it.
And they're so fun. Speaking of partying, me and sister went out to Larry Joe Taylor like 3 or 4 years ago. I skipped half of the concerts because I was just having so much fun. One of them has a Santa Maria grill on it, so you have an open flame you're cooking over, and you literally just have this wheel, and it moves the grill up and down. So I was having so much fun just cooking chicken and out on the grill. I didn't even go to the half of the concert, but yeah, they're so much fun, and they're so easy to clean, so it keeps cooking fun.
I'm trying to talk Robin and Jacob into one last round at Chili Fest.
Yeah.
We turned Chili Fest. Nobody would believe this, but we turned Chili Fest into the shit show it is today. They used to not throw beer. I started throwing beer at Chili Fest. Now there's a table. It's right over there. It's called the Headsville Road table. We stole a sign that says Headsville Road, which you obviously know why that sign was appealing to a 18-year-old kid. Yeah. We built a table in 2003 out of the sign. Okay, it's right over there in the office. Emery's got all of her stuff on it. Everybody's carved their names into it and everything else. We would take that table to Chili Fest. We would stand on the table. We'd stand on the coolers so we could see, and we would throw beer on everybody. The last time I went to Chili Fest, that had escalated to people bringing entire deep freezes, old deep freezes, making them their coolers, being completely full of beer, and standing on top of a deep freeze so you could be closer to the stars in the audience or whatever, or the singers, and crowd surfing in shopping carts. So
wow.
When we got to Chili Fest, you brought a lawn chair and you sat there and you watched it like normal people, like normal Americans, not us. We got hammered, started throwing beer, started throwing bologna at the stage.
No less.
Now, when you go to Chili Fest, it's like literally 5 foot of beer over the top of the crowd, everybody just slinging it. And that's our fault because we took it there. And I want to do that with Roughneck Real Estate. And I want to do that with my Roughneck Real Estate Irving manufacturing trailer because, when you've got one of those and it's college town, it's down by College Station. I mean, all the 23-year-old girls are going to want a chicken leg, right? And I'm the guy with the chicken legs. I like my chances.
I'm just saying that my best guy friend, when I was cooking on it, definitely had a sign so inappropriate. But he held up this big sign while I was cooking, and it said, titties for wieners. And he was giving away hot dogs to everybody that flashed him at Larry Joe Taylor. I mean, you can take it any direction that you want to. So
that was your dad?
No, that wasn't my dad.
Oh, I was hoping it was your dad.
My friend London.
Oh,
dang. So, he's a single dude. He was just out there making the most of what I had going on. So I was cooking chicken, and then I had to have hot dogs over here for all the girls that felt like taking their shirts off for a hot dog.
You're welcome, Kevin.
Classy
You're welcome.
group.
No, look, in April, I will be pulling up the Chili Fest. So today's memories are actually pretty funny on my Facebook. I guess I'll put it up here. I don't know where to. Here we go.
Is it the Chili Fest?
No. I was at a football game talking about Scooby Doo tongue. I've almost got married a bunch of my life apparently.
You almost got married?
No, I was just drunk 9 years ago.
Yeah.
These comments will probably tell us more of the story, but it won't let me look at them. I don't know how to work this. Oh, no, that's not it. Not very good at this for my phone. But 3 years ago, I was looking at houses, so that works out.
So how long have you been doing real estate, Corey? How long have you been out of the oil field?
5 years. Got laid off. So, oil field got out of me. I didn't get out of it. I was actually watching the little skirmish in Saudi Arabia, and I was like, there is a price I would go back to work for, and it's very, very high up there. But I would put together a company. And right now I have the mindset. We have the back office. We have everything that if we wanted to start an oil field consulting company, which is what I did at the end, I was a consultant. If we wanted to broker consultants, we could do that all day. Have the connections, have the know-how, have the sales experience. could put it together fairly quickly, but the skirmish in Saudi Arabia is not going to be a long-term interruption. But if it was, oh man, could we go make some money real fast? Now, the rest of the economy would take a big hit because gas prices would go through the roof. But so it works out for everybody else in the world economy, not so much for me. Dirt Guy is still trying. His connection is not quite there yet. I think it's
Bless his
here's
heart.
what I think happens.
He needs better Wi-Fi on his tractor.
Here he is. Hold on. We got a weather update from Dirt Guy. Let's see if he can bring it in. Doc, your microphone doesn't work.
What it do?
There he is.
What's the weather like out there, Dirt Guy?
Huh?
What's the weather like?
It looks like it's about to piss on me, but I don't know. Time will tell. I don't know how this one's supposed to get. Bougie, my truck's got 4G in it, so we're good.
I think you've used up all your data on porn.
There's a 50-50 chance on that.
So what do you expect weather-wise for the rest of the week? What's a Dirt Guy look for perfect weather?
We look for basically the sun, a little bit of rain just to keep the grass green, but not enough. It keeps me from working. You know, last year was a little too damn much. Basically in here and there, it's the 10 inches, 30 inches, 60 inches in a month. What really sucks. It makes a guy like me go broke. So right now I need a little bit of rain. I need a little, not, everyone starts praying and then it'll rain 10 freaking inches on me in about 2 hours. So it did about 3 weeks ago, it rained 4 inches in an hour and a half, and then it hasn't done squat since. So,
well,
fun. But yeah, no, it looks like it's going to rain on us. What?
Well, we got a big delay, but the ranchers around here are going to whoop your ass for saying it rained too much. But I knew it rained too much last year when the ranchers were saying it's rained too much.
Oh, yeah. It rained way too much last year. And there's people out here, you should tell people you we don't need any more rain.
Doc's gone full robot on us. Doc, we'll check back with you tomorrow. Later. So sorry about that. Doc, we had to cut you off. You were just sounding like the old Charlie Brown's mom. So
he did.
Kimba, tell us more about your sister.
Okay. What do you want to know, Corey?
No,
about
I'm playing.
The woman you missed out on?
I did not. That is not what happened. What happened? Just not...
Y'all had a lunch date on Monday. You met a girl on Friday.
Whoa.
You spent the whole weekend with her. You failed to text back.
Whoa. That is not how this... Look, we tried on several different times to go to dinner. Several different times. Tried. She's busy. I'm busy. Didn't work out. We had a lunch date scheduled on Monday, and met somebody else. But it's not like I tried to ride with California with her randomly too. So she could have said, yeah, sure, ride to California
because
with me.
She doesn't do strangers. I have to make you not a stranger. It's already weird that she agreed to meet you for lunch.
We had already met. We met in person.
I know, and that's the only reason why I think she agreed to was because y'all met in a more neutral way where she was with people and you were with people. So then she could at least know that you're not an axe murderer. Like, my sister has really bad stranger danger. So she's not just going to meet you one time and then take off to California with you.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I couldn't have fit it in my schedule either to go to California, but I like talking the big game. Like, I just can up and go whenever.
We know.
I don't think I could have, but I have made that trip, and it is a really, really fun
long
trip.
Drive.
Like, it's a really long drive, but me and Emery did it. Like, your sister kind of does, like, she does what I do. Like, she drives, and takes her daughter, who is almost the same age as Emery. I think old's your niece? 6?
She's in first grade. She'll be 6 in February.
Yeah, Emery's
I'm sorry,
in
7.
kindergarten.
She'll be 7 in February, so she's 6.
Yeah, Emery and her are almost the same age, and we do the exact same thing. We go somewhere for work, take our kid with us, and swim in the pool with her at the hotel. And we do all this other fun stuff, but then we get back, all they remember is swimming in the pool at the hotel. It's like, no, we seen a mountain.
Yeah.
Like,
and the beach. Addison loves the beach. So, yeah, I think it's awesome. She takes her kid with her and makes it an adventure. And they love doing that. I think it's great because I don't think that I could travel. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable driving all the way to California, just me and my daughter in tow, you know. So, my sister's very independent and brave like that. So, I think it's awesome. I love watching them have their adventures.
And it is really cool. But hey, like, you know, anyways, I won't speak about it no more because I felt like you were mad at me for a while because of that. And I was like, I don't, like, we grown. I should have came to the lake when you invited me to the lake.
I feel like that was your loss, Corey. I'm not mad at you for it.
I should have came to the lake.
Pity you.
I should have came to the lake when you invited me to the lake.
Yeah.
But I knew that if I came to the lake, I would have like a really good time, and then every weekend would go to the lake, and I'd get way behind on work. Here comes Robin. Robin's trying to be nosy. She's married. Robin, this is Kimba.
Why are we discussing it then?
What? Oh, her sister. She tried to hook me up with her sister. It's almost better that we, like, Robin, have you ever tried to set me up with any of your friends?
No.
We've been
I know better.
10 years. 10 years.
Well, it's made a pretty funny ongoing joke is all. And the lake is actually really healthy on the weekends because when you do R&R on the weekends and you get back on Monday, you're really in a better place to be successful mentally.
This is true. But I'll have Emery on the weekends most weekends, so I gotta like pack my work in so I can like really run on the weekends. But that particular weekend I did have Emery, which is, you know, why I ended up not going to the lake. Because I was like,
but usually we do have kids. That specific weekend, we had a kid-free weekend, but usually we do have the kids, and you should bring her because we can teach her how to wakeboard, and her and Blaze can wakeboard together.
Well, funny thing, they say you don't need a boat. You need a friend with a boat. So, you know, y'all got a boat. But my friend just bought a boat too. So now we actually have the means, which is weird for him to buy a boat in September.
No, that's a good time to buy a boat because they're a little bit cheaper. I bought my boat last October.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and you've got a Malibu wake setter, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I had one. Funny story behind that. My girlfriend bought it for me when I was 23 for my birthday.
Good girlfriend.
It was. So, anyways, that's a different story, different time, different place. But yeah, my past shenanigans. My current shenanigans do not hold a candle to my past shenanigans, which my Facebook memories were a little bit disappointing today because I can't see the comments. The reason why I probably couldn't see the 12 comments is because probably all 12 people that commented currently have me blocked. Like,
dude, my block list is so long. It just keeps, I got called a lizard this morning. Did you see that?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but I mean, since you're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. Like,
For some reason, if you have colorful skin, that makes you a lizard. See, I don't know why people would assume that this changes the texture of my skin, but it's still, when you touch them, they feel just like skin. And that kills me because I can't tell you how often I'm in public and people want to touch me.
Well, that might be for a different reason. Like, that might be for a different reason. You hashtag me too. Like, when I'm 70, I'm just going to be trying to touch whatever too. Like, I'm old. I can get away with this. So what I got, I was going to comment on that, but I was like, yeah, there's some guy like saying I thought he said grape. For some reason, it stuck in my head as grape. Like, when you're old, you're going to look like a grape. But
no, he said a lizard.
The fact, like, I read that screenshot because I thought it was going to be like crazy. Like, I thought he was like going to be something like just Western out of like, I thought it was going to go south real fast. Because, I can't imagine what it's like. My inbox, I got sent a dick pic on Facebook. And that's why I can't go live on Facebook right now, because I put a picture of the dick pic on my Facebook. And it was really disappointing to me. What? That's
fair though. I mean, just throwing it
No, I blurred it out. Like, Like I blurted out. Like it rattled me. Like I've never sent a dick pic, so I don't know. And I damn sure don't send unsolicited pics. So like when I got this, it was like, hey, I was thinking about you this morning. But the problem was it was like I mean, it didn't make it past the end of his hand. So I was like, I mean, and anyways, I just looked at it for a minute and I was like, is this how you
looked at it for a whole minute? You didn't
I was just looking at it like, am I going to jail? Is this a 15-year-old? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are
all the possibilities?
What's
That
happened
only happened
here?
to me one time, and it wasn't even. I don't even think it was him. I think it was like a Googled image. It was a girl and a boy together, and it got sent to me. I'm not even really sure why he was hating on my. You know, my husband looks like the kind of dude that makes 6 figures a year to sit in a jacked up truck on a job site, not do shit all day. So the guy felt inclined to send me some porn, I guess. But it made me cry. I cried.
Cry never crossed my mind, but I was just like sitting there wondering.
Like it startled me. I was like,
you need to go to your other folder. If you go to your other folder, that's where they're hiding. Like it'll look like it'll.
I'm skipping it. I don't want none of that. I don't want to see none of that. People are
like
nasty
snake
and they're
farming
strange.
So yeah, I was like, this is how I know I've made it. Like on Facebook, I've got a dick pic. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm like, man, because like last week I had somebody tell me that I'm too skinny. This week I had somebody tell me I'm gonna look like a lizard because I have too many tattoos. I had somebody ask me for $50 to go shopping. This is in a week's time, mind you. Somebody asked me for $50 to go shopping. Somebody asked me that I've never met before in my life to go out of my way to pick them up from Watauga and drive them out to Azle. Oh, and then somebody that was no less than a month ago talking shit about me now wants me to ordain their wedding.
Well,
I'm just like mind blown this week. I'm like, I guess I'm just going to have to get used to it because if I'm going to keep myself out there on a social media platform, I've just got to be ready for the bullshit to come. It's going to happen.
Well, it's going to happen. Like, no doubt. Like for my own personal, everything that goes on, my inbox it doesn't get weird. It's just, it gets a little strange sometimes. I mean, it's just a little weird. Like I didn't know the impact we were having on people's lives, like overall, until probably 2017-ish. People, like I would tag somebody on a Facebook post and they would get like 75 friend requests. And people started telling me about that. They're like, dude, quit tagging me on Facebook. I'm like, why? Like,
my sister tells me that too. She's like, dude, every time you tag me, I get like 200 friend requests within the next couple of days. I'm done with it. Quit tagging. She's pissed off we're even talking about her on the show.
She's right here. Like right here. That's her. Boom.
Hey,
in
sister.
there. What's
there
up?
She is.
Hey, Tabitha. What's up, girl? How you doing? How's your mom and them? So yeah, that was I got rattled by the dick pic. And so I decided to make a status about it and turn that lemon into lemonade. And then I got my live privileges revoked. And then I got blocked.
What does that have to do with going live, though? And I do the same thing. Sometimes I'm like, just want to skip over stuff altogether. But the truth of the matter is, anytime some drama sells a little bit, that's what I commented to my sister earlier too. I'm like, us talking about you is funny. But I really try to use that on social media too. I mean, you don't want to drama up your page, and that's what makes all of your stuff popular. I'm a little bit more conservative with my drama, but I do throw it out there because it gets engagement and people interact with it. And I think that people who don't use social media for marketing kind of miss that sometimes. It's like, man, I only posted this because I knew it was going to instantly get like 50 comments. People just like to talk about it.
I can tell you right now that if I was going to ask anybody to share this stream into another person's Facebook group, I wouldn't ask them to say good things about us. I would ask them to clown on us. I want you to share this in there and roast us, make the most negative comment. Can you believe these motherfuckers are saying this shit? Yeah. Everybody's going to click on it instantly. You could put in there, man, I just learned how to make $1 million watching this stream. Nobody will click on it. Oh, that's a scam. It's whatever. But man, I think these two people are the biggest liars on planet Earth. Boom, everybody's tuning in. So yeah,
that was the same hustle we had going going with Select, you know, my Cardi B rap I made against the other roofing company, and we've been making memes back and forth. Well, he actually wrote me a message last week and said, you know, Kimba, I was at a concert with over 15,000 people there, had on my Select roofing shirt, and somebody out of the crowd walked up to me and said, hey, what's the beef between you and RKG? Like, people are just, I mean, even outside of just the engagement that you actually get, you don't realize sometimes how many people are paying attention, like a fly on the wall, and not saying anything, but they know who you are, and that's branding, that's marketing. I mean, now, next thing you know, they see our boat going down the road, and it's, oh, that's RKG. And then they see us again on Facebook, and it's that 5 or 6 times that now they're also going to remember us when they need a roof.
Well, yeah, it's top of mind awareness. It's top of mind awareness. It's like I get people. I started roasting gurus when a very large company took $40,000 from some people, and it was their retirement. They had to like remortgage their house.
Yeah.
They gave them their retirement. The people that told them to pay me your retirement then told them to remortgage their house and buy an RV park. So they had a free and clear house that was paid for, and they took out a loan against their free and clear house, went and bought an RV park, had no experience with RV parks, had no experience with self-storage, and 2 years later called me to buy their personal house because they were, you know, they had to sell the personal house because they couldn't pay the bills at the RV park and pay the mortgage on the house, and because they didn't have enough experience to make that move. You know what I mean? And they were 70. Like, who would do that to somebody? And so it bothered me. It bothered me to my core that there are companies out there that would not look at somebody's situation enough to know that that's not the right move for them. You're 70 years old.
Right.
You got 40 grand to your name. You got a house that's paid for. Okay. You need to figure out how to sell the house and get on a 4 or 5 unit and live off the income from the other 3 units and live there rent free if that's what you're wanting to do in real estate. If not, you need to enjoy your Social Security and hang on to the 40 when the air conditioner goes out in your house. Not pay it to me, a guru, so you can be broke twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty disappointed about that, and that was like the beginning. That was 2016 of the guru roasting, but from there it kind of grew. Now, a really big guy in the DFW market the other day, I had a dude going around. He called. I didn't realize until I went to text message him that I already had his number, or we'd already spoke before. But he was literally going around trying to shit on this dude, this large investor in DFW, because the large investor took the money out of a bank account. So one of his other partners couldn't spend it because he had proven that he wasn't capable of handling the money. And this other guy had a beef. And anyways, it was just, you know, when this guy calls me, the first thing I do is get off the phone with him and call the big time investors. Like, hey, there's a dude calling like everybody in his phone right now. And Roughneck Real Estate comes to the top of his mind whenever he wants to roast somebody. And This is what he's saying. Here's his phone number. You might need to call him and figure this out. And that happens. I mean, people slide my DMs all the day. Another guy out of San Antonio took $2,500 from a dude to teach him how to do real estate. Then he didn't learn anything. So he's wanting me to like lash out against this guy. And I'm like, what did you do after you got the education? What did he tell you to do? Well, he told me to put out bandit signs and do this. Have you done any of that? No. Well, why do you expect any results? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're too fucking lazy. That's your fault. But that's the kind of stuff that comes from that quote unquote brand is when people are stealing. But then there's a really big guy out of Austin that is literally going to go to prison probably within the next 6 months when all of his shit comes out. I asked him about it, and the upper echelon of the community won't speak on it. They're like, they won't talk about it, even though he's got 21 judgments. There's a big, they're pulling up to go talk to the DA. You know, it's taken their IRA, their retirement account. He's not allowed to go into Quest's IRA's events anymore. I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And the big guys won't talk about it. And I'm like, why won't y'all talk about it? Like, what do you stand to lose by smacking this dude upside his face? And the thing that always comes to my mind is either one, they don't want that associated with their brand, or two, you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. So I'm like, it's whatever.
There's
You know what I mean?
but there's also a little bit of just the, I don't know, negative connotation that comes along with it. I'm in a similar situation too. I feel very passionately about theft and people doing business that don't have any integrity in my industry, because I have to counteract this every single day with these contractors who will take somebody's insurance check and you never hear from them again, or whatever the case may be. Now, with my renovations and my roofing side, I just require no money down to do the project, which makes cash flow a little bit more difficult to manage sometimes, but it's worth it to me because I want to make sure that people have that comfort level. And then I know other companies or other people that do things like that, right? So I recently left a review on somebody's business page because they came to work for my company for a month, never paid attention in any of my training, don't know their head from their asshole in anything that they're doing, went out, got themselves a DBA, and started representing themselves as a roofing company. They have no capital, they have no crews, they have no insurance. I'm terrified that this person is going to actually trick somebody into handing over an ACV check, and they're just going to end up screwed, So I went and left a review, and of course now they want to trash talk back and forth. Then my lawyer sent them a cease and desist letter because they're trying to contact my customers still. But I'm with you on that. Sometimes I will stick my neck out and say, hey man, this dude is a crook. Don't do that. Don't go that way.
Well, there's two contractors that did that, and Roughneck Real Estate got one of them sent to jail because whenever it came out, all the rest of the people that were silently just licking their wounds from these people were like, oh, that happened to you too. That happened to me. That happened to me. Next thing you know, you got like 30 people going to a DA's office saying this person took money and never did the job. This person took, and so they ended up arresting this guy and he ends up going to jail. Yeah. The other one, I don't know what happened to him, but it was a similar situation, lawsuits, everything going on. But you're right. If I know as an investor somebody's out there stealing people's retirement accounts, then it puts that blemish on real estate investing. You know what I mean? It doesn't put the blemish on Roughneck Real Estate or anything else. It puts it on real estate investing. So when somebody's like thinking, oh man, I think I could be a lender or make money passively by loaning to a real estate investor, somebody's going to pop up and say, oh no, a friend of mine had their money stolen by this investor over here. He took their money and there was no recourse and there was nothing they could do and all of that, because people do that every single day. They take money from people's retirements. They don't have any intention of paying it back. Another guy came into Roughneck Real Estate the other day, dude down in San Antonio, did this. He's got several lawsuits. Now it's starting to come to head and he's going to end up going to jail too. Yeah. That makes it harder for me to get private capital. Just like a nefarious contractor makes it harder for you to do business with a potential customer, because if they've already paid the nefarious contractor, they're going to need money to pay you potentially. You know what I mean? So like
going through one with that right now, there's a $10,000 unpaid invoice and they've already paid the other contractor, did all that. We came in, fixed a bunch of stuff. And now it's a matter of, oh, I don't have any money until I sell this house. And that's kind of a problem that isn't mine,
Well,
but
yes.
It makes what we do hard, which is unfortunate because there is a lot of money to be made in real estate. And that's one of the reasons. I mean, I love the house flip game. I've been actively looking for one to buy on my own. While we're touching on real estate investing, this is something I had a conversation with somebody about yesterday that I think is important. Hopefully anybody watching this, if you're watching it because you want to get into real estate investing, it's also important to know that you have to do your own comps. I mean, you have to do your own, your own comps and do your own numbers. I was talking to somebody yesterday, I'm pretty familiar with it from the contractor's point of view. Like, I know what a renovation budget is going to cost, and I know that it's not $20,000. So sometimes I'll have these wholesalers just sending out, I'm on all their lists and their email lists and all that stuff. And these wholesalers will be steady sending me over this property that's for sale with these numbers that they've attached to it. And I'm like, man, that's really a dishonest way to sell this house. So I just want to encourage anybody out there, don't go off of anybody else's numbers that are not your own, and make sure that you get a bid from a reputable contractor that you feel like you can trust to make sure that your numbers are solid. Like I said, we don't come in and do a lot of secretive things that we add in later. We really try to help people stay on the original budget as much as possible. And it's really important to find somebody that's going to be on your team through investing, and to find a contractor and just find one that you trust and that you do really good work with, and then keep using that person for every one of your jobs instead of constantly be looking for the cheapest guy. I kind of get frustrated when we show up to a bid. It's a brand new investor that just bought something from a particularly large wholesale company that we all know.
It
And they're
happens.
like, oh, I have a $20,000 budget. And I'm like, no, dude, you have a $70,000 project. We're way far apart. They lied to you. Did you pull
And they probably bought that off of MLS and didn't know it was on MLS. So they're their own worst comp. If they wanted to get out from underneath it right now, if they wanted to sell it, they put a comp out there that is going to be the most comparable comp because it's the fucking house that they just bought.
Yeah.
That company. Anyways, I've got opinions. I've got a lot of opinions.
So do
But-
I. And that was the thing, we found a house that we were interested in, and Robbie made us an appointment to go look at this house without knowing anything about it. Next thing I know, we're walking into, their office, and oh my gosh, I was an asshole the whole time we were there. I ended up telling that, this poor guy's not talking for like 2 minutes before I'm like, dude, this is a waste of my time. I'm leaving. I'm not buying anything from y'all. I can't even believe Robbie got me through the door. I opened the coffee creamer and it's clumpy. That's how you know everything about this place sucks. Like, you can't even get a cup of coffee without poisoning yourself. I'm out of here.
Look at this. You talk about pulling comps. So here's Propelio. Shameless plug for Propelio. How's this for pulling comps?
I like Propelio.
You've got a $36,000 house that sold right here. It don't even look that bad actually.
I was about to say that's a great for $36,000.
You got a $45,000 house right here. It's whatever. You've got an $82,000 house, which looks worse than the $36,000 house.
It does. Mm-hmm.
That's
Is this
great.
inside their new app or what?
No, this is on their software. This is just pulling comps in Waco because you brought it up and you want to pull your own comps. Waco is one of those places where wholesalers come to die, and they come in here and they'll see this comp right here, which is a listed $189,000 house. It's been on the market for 4 days, and it's really fancy on the inside. I don't know if it's got a bidet. You probably know more about what these cabinets would cost and what that granite and that backsplash. What is that?
Yeah.
Subway tile? That refrigerator is expensive. I know that. I don't know what quality flooring that is, but got a little island there with the dishwasher in it. But square footage wise, it's 1,300 square foot, 3.2 with carpet. That's like a $40 fan, so it's not. It's just not that impressive for me. Right next to a $36,000 house that don't look that bad. I mean, the inside must be terrible on this one, but that's how hard it is. Now I took the year built out because, this one's actually built in 78, and this one was built in the 30s, I think. Yeah, built in 1940. So comps are hard, very, very hard. And if I wanted to come through and cherry pick, I could just go over here, which the reason why there's all this activity right here is because this is Baylor. That's Baylor's campus. That's why all this is selling. So anyways, people get this really messed up all the time when they, it's always best to have the ability, and for $98 a month, it's like the best insurance policy you could ever have, to actually go see what stuff's selling for and ask them, why are you picking these comps versus this? You know what I mean? Because whenever I had the year built on this particular address that I put in, you can see it was built in 37. So the only one that came up was this $189,000 one. Well, I could really hang myself on this house if I'm going off of this. Now, if this one sells for 189, then, obviously you can get rich in this neighborhood, and we need to go in there, which I am interested to see how that works out. I don't know the driving force behind that other than about right here is, which y'all can't see it because I don't have it on the screen, but about right here is where George's bar is. Like that right here, I think is George's. One of these is George's. What's
George's?
George's bar. It's like a famous bar. That's George's right there. That's George's. So, I mean, it's just down the road from George's, a world famous Waco bar. So, if you like walking home drunk, that's a good place for you. Great place for you.
I mean, that's fair.
But anyways, what else? If you had a message you want to deliver, because this isn't really a podcast interview. Me and Witherspoon are supposed to chop it up and give progress reports. Yesterday was the worst day I had in a long time of real estate investing, and you probably won't understand a lot of it. But if you're going to be a bear, you better be a grizzly bear. So yesterday, a guy tried to get us to sign a deed in lieu of foreclosure over to him on a property that we own or finance from him, which gave him ownership of the property back, so he could close with our buyer that we're selling the house, selling to owner finance. So the way the transaction was supposed to take place was we get 50,000 down. They assume our owner finance note to him. He said, "Oh no, we need to clean up the paperwork on this transaction. So it would be easier if you signed a deed in lieu of foreclosure over to me, and then I could have good, clean paperwork with them." No, that would put you getting the 50,000 down.
Yeah, I was
us
about
getting
to
the
say,
50,000 down, and he literally stopped the closing on that. So we've got a couple of different things going on there. But once we talked to him and he realized we were born at night, but not last night, he kind of realized that all of our attorneys were looking at what was going on, and the people who were buying the deal from us were also attorneys. So they were, they get free legal representation. I think he realizes now that, he was kind of caught trying to do a little bit of nefarious stuff and is going to go through with it. But, we were supposed to pick up a $50,000 check yesterday that we didn't pick up. Had another deal that we're closing on the sale that is being held up by a title company, waiting for the city to relinquish the rights to an alleyway. But, been under contract selling this deal for 60 days. We get down to the day of closing, and that's the day you catch this. And we're supposed to get a $115,000 check for that. And then we're refinancing an owner finance property, an apartment complex, and we're supposed to get $175,000 from that refinance, and it was supposed to close on Monday. And the trust that owner financed it to us, so the heirs owned it, inherited it into a trust. They owner financed it to us. We've been making the payment to the trust. We get the payoff and everything, but two of the people that are in the trust are now like incapacitated. They're in like nursing homes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't know how to properly distribute the funds because it's not spelled out in the trust. So it's like they will not give, they gave a payoff, but they will not disperse funds because they don't know where this money's going to go. And I'm like, well, wait, we've been making a payment somewhere. How about you just take the money and put it there? And then they can figure out amongst themselves how the money gets distributed. But the title company will not distribute funds because they don't know where it's going to go.
Your feelings when you have I don't know. We hit a point about 2 or 3 months ago where I was going through accounts receivable, and I'm like, we have $400,000 out there in accounts receivable. This hurts my feelings. I understand, and it's just something holding it up everywhere you look. But that's one of the things about being in real estate, and in roofing, that makes, the risk versus the reward, it's there on both sides of the fence. So you really can't have thin skin or be scared or any. If that's your vibe in life where you need security, neither one of these industries are going to be for you, because you're going to have to be adaptive. You're going to have to be creative with cash flow and financing. It comes down to it, but it does hurt your feelings when you have days like that, for sure.
So right now, and I forgot one, the same, we have a credit line that we're pulling on against the land on that deal with the trust. So that's another $200,000. So altogether we have $540,000 that was supposed to hit the bank account this week. That when that hits the bank account, we're going for like 5 different refis at once. All of the taxes are done. Everything's done. So you get the 540 in the bank. You're very lendable at that point. So you go refinance, get all the private money back, get all your capital back out of it. So you can go buy more real estate, or so you can go finish remodel projects that you've put on pause. We got 2 different apartment complexes that we're not working on right now because, we're just not going to take our cash reserves or credit lines or whatever and go do this work when we know that we're going to have this slug of money coming in. So we're probably got $60,000 in projects just waiting, and this is what business is like. And I know that you know it because you just said it. Your accounts receivables up here, supposed to collect it, and you don't, but you still got to make payroll that week. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you still got to pay your people.
That's what kills me about companies that's, they just really start off like that. Oh, I just went and got a DBA and here I am. I get everybody starts from something, but I feel like you've got to have a little bit of cash flow. Something behind you. You had made a post a couple weeks ago that I loved, and something to the effect of, if you don't have $100,000 in liquid, don't start playing around. I think a lot of these gurus really make people believe that you can invest with none of your own money. And I just,
Well, I mean, you can get started, but the
people
next
do
phase
it.
is, the next phase is you got to be able to hold money. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, because if you get it and then you go buy a car with it, or you go, you know what I mean? You take a vacation, your mindset's
That's
not
the
there
thing,
yet.
though. It's nice to be able to have some liquid to make up some of these gaps that are going to happen. I think that it's important to keep deals from falling through and be able to make it to your next one, is just to have that little bit of your own capital there to
You
be able
have
to
to.
make up some of these cash flow gaps.
You have to. You have to have that. You have to have credit lines. You have to have. It takes everything because, I mean, you know, like what's going on right now in Beaumont. There's a hurricane, tropical storm coming through, flooding people out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those investors down there, if you own property down there, do you think your tenants are going to pay rent next month? They're not going to work the rest of the month. You know what I mean? You're going to have to service that debt. So if all your eggs are in that basket, you've got to have some cash reserves to make it through. The other thing is you're about to be in the fight of your life with an insurance company. So if you don't have cash reserves or credit or equity or any of the above, you're really, really hurt when that event happens. That's one thing about our business. We're spread out. You know, like people that are in the Metroplex, when the hailstorms come through, you know, we get affected by the hailstorms, but it doesn't hit our whole portfolio all at once.
Right.
Because y'all deal with insurance companies every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're waiting to deny a claim. They're waiting to say, oh, no, that's depreciated. They're waiting to tell you about the loophole that they have in your policy, and you're about to have to hire an independent adjuster and go argue with them. And in between now and then, you got a roof over an asset that's getting water in it that you got to come off the money to pay Kimba to go fix it right now, because the next rainstorm, it's going to fuck up everything underneath it, and your problems are just going to grow. So yeah, you know, which people don't, I don't see the gurus talk about cash reserves enough. I don't see them talk about bookkeeping. You know, I know that y'all's bookkeeping. Do you do the bookkeeping? Does your husband, who files the receipts?
Nicole, my
See,
admin assistant, Nicole, she does my QuickBooks and all
what
of
does she
that.
what does she cost a year?
Do what?
What does she cost a year? How much?
Well, she makes $3,600 a month. She helps me with social media marketing. She does networking. She goes around to events. She keeps my books, files my receipts. Then the CPA takes over, you know, from there as far as all the rest of that stuff goes.
43,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Our office staff, I don't have all their salaries in front of me, but we probably got $150,000 in salaries, you know, that have to be paid before we get paid. You know, I know that for you, Nicole, that's your admin, right?
Mm-hmm.
She gets paid every week. Do you get paid every week?
Now most weeks, which is nice.
That's, you know what I mean? It's like
I have been consistently getting paid for the last year, so it's been really good to get to that point. But I'm kind of like you as far as wanting to kind of spread out my business model a little bit. That's why we don't only do roofing. Roofing has its busy season. My renovations go year round. And then we also do a lot of work for property managers, investors. We do retail for homeowners. I mean, there's a lot. I have my hands in a lot of different pots too. And there are lots of times, you know, Robbie and I will be talking and it's like, man, you know, roofing really carried the ball this week. Renovations really carried the ball this week. And it's because one faucet of our company sometimes really helps cash flow the other so that we can take on these bigger projects. You know, like I said, I don't require any money down to start a project. So you start looking at that labor materials on all these roofs, I'm cash flowing that out. To be able to go in and start demoing a house flip, I'm cash flowing that out until the investor is able to get their first draw and pay that back off. And it's like that through, you know, when you're working with an investor that has hard money, they're going to go through an inspection at every phase. So as the contractor, I'm cash flowing that out at every phase. But after that phase is complete, you know, we'll finish up a house. And then, you know, at the end of the one we're finishing right now, we pick up 60 grand. So that's going to go back into cash flow. That's going to help create the possibilities to do other things over here. So I think that that's where even a lot of roofing companies and probably investors as well, you know, only sticking with one niche is, you know, sometimes can be a little bit difficult if you have a large scale that you're trying to cash flow out.
I mean, yeah, like our rentals, same way. Rentals, hotels,
Mhm.
Rentals keep the cash flow up to where you're servicing the debt on the stuff that you buy to sell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then we're buying two houses this week. One of them we got a $25,000 rehab budget that we're getting a loan for, so that 25,000 is going to hit the bank. It's going to go into that project. And the other one we're getting $20,000, and it's not going to take all of that, hopefully, but you never know what you're going to run into. But but while we're waiting for both of those projects to sell, the cool thing about how we structured the private money on those is we don't have to service that debt. Like, it accrues. So when it sells, it'll be, the investor that brought the money gets paid all at once.
Mhm.
Those having that leeway is what people don't see on the backside of our business that we try to talk about all the time on how we structure our private money, how the rentals, carry the ball on servicing debt, on, the unexpected. We've got, I don't know, $4,500
It takes a lot
AC.
of creativity. That's the thing I think some people miss is it really takes a lot of I mean, I explain it like a business is like a chess game. You always got to know which piece is going to make the most sense here and be able to get you the best end result. And it takes so much brain power. I think that's the part of what all entrepreneurs do that a lot of people miss. I have people ask me all the time, well, what do you do all day? I'm like, everything. I keep it all alive. What do you mean? Because I have a board in my office and there's just all these jobs and all of these checkpoints where it's, we picked up deductible, ACV, depreciation, you got supplements coming in. And then as well as managing all of that on, with our investors, our homeowners that are doing retail renovations and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. That's why my lake time's important to me. I don't know what you're talking about, working harder on the weekends. Like, I am stingy with my Sunday.
Well, I'm like me. I don't ever really think about it like that. Something Grant Cardone said the other day rings true for me. Every day off is another day off I'm going to take, which means when I take a day off, like an actual full day off, the next day it gets that much harder to go do something. You know what I mean? It's like, I took today off. Now tomorrow, I think I earned another half a day. Like, my entitlements start talking to me. So as long as I stay busy and at least go do something that day, I feel a lot better about the next day. You know what I mean?
You never really get to, that's the thing. You never really get to be off. Like, I'm always creating content, networking, replying to emails, replying to text messages.
But I enjoy it.
I do like to get out of the office every once in a while and just breathe. Like, there's no numbers here. I'm not really a numbers person by nature. It's not something that I love. It's something that I have to do. So sometimes I get to looking at this board and I go all cross-eyed and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be back tomorrow. Can't do it.
I don't like, I feel like I'm passionate about it. I feel like I love it. I feel like, I just enjoy it. And plus I had a really good 20s. You know what I mean? My 20s were really good. Like all the stuff that most people want to do in life, I got those boxes checked in my 20s. I don't, now I've got a 5-year-old. She just really brightens my day. Put a post on Facebook.
That's the thing. That's what I care about too. Is that time with my kids. They always make me, because they're my motivation to do and build everything that I'm doing.
Well, she's reading. Like, she's reading a book to her mom. And her mom sends me that video yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I can't keep secrets around this girl anymore. Like, we used to spell shit out. Now what are we gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we can't. Like,
now she picks up on it. Yeah.
She knows how to communicate with emojis. She's been writing emoji sentences for 2 years now. You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen some of her emojis.
She sends entire emoji sentences from her mom's phone. Then she figured out how to text to talk. Then she figured out how to pull up the face, the dog face, and talking to it. So now you're talking to a dog. So we've been able to text and communicate with her since she was 3, and it's amazing to watch this transformation. So my 20s were really good. I get to spend a lot of time with Emery, and the stuff like this that we get to do is really fun, where we get to hang out for an hour in the morning and talk over the internet. And when I get done here, we might have to save homecoming. The rival team came over and burned our bonfire last night. So homecoming's Friday, the bonfire's tonight. Now the bonfire's burnt down, so we might have to go get our dump trailer and fire up the track hoe and load out some brush and haul it up there so the kids can have a bonfire. I don't know when DJ is going to come back, but that might, take precedent over what we were going to do today. But I'm still putting together a plan of action for our Comanche apartments when this money finally hits. How much are we going to allocate towards getting more units ready? What units do we have ready that aren't being rented? What's the reason why they're not being rented? Is it a price objection? Is it a follow-up problem? Like what's going on there? So there's, like you said, always something. And now I'm over here trying to save homecoming. Maybe I end up going.
I know. I feel you. I did the homecoming parade where I was literally sprinting down because you're not allowed to throw candy from the float anymore. It hits the kids in the head or something. So now the parents have to sprint next to the float, putting the candy individually in everybody's bag. So I got to do that on Monday. It was fun.
I'm checking
But
out.
I really wanted to ask you. So you're in multifamily, mobile home parks.
Yeah, we're still in
owner
mobile.
finance.
Yes.
Do you do any flips?
Yes. And it's run like two sides of the company. So you got the flip side, which complements the rental side,
Yes.
and then you got the big company is what I call it, where we do our apartments, mobile homes. It's got a different set of partners. The owner finance company has a different set of partners. They're all high school friends, and then the buy and sell side, which is the flip side, is we're partners with Jason on that. So we've got all these moving parts, and then new people want to come on. They want to go to work. They want to learn our systems and processes, and it's really disappointing for me because our systems and processes are really simple. When I see people talk about scaling, I'm like, you ain't got no money, bro. You ain't scaling shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to figure out how to make money first, hold money second. If you make money, then you can hold money, and then if you can account for money, like account it, actually get it into QuickBooks, then you can scale. But you got to get these two steps or these three steps first, and you ain't there yet. I can produce a shit ton of revenue with work. Jacob has to clean it all up, and it has to go through the filter of his bookkeeping before we can ever go get a bank loan to do a deal. You know what I mean? If we don't have that lifeblood, if we don't have yin and yang, me and Jacob, we don't have a business. And so when you see the solopreneur, it's like, you talk about scaling. The first thing you need to do is get a good CPA, accountant, bookkeeper, and get those boxes checked. Then you can hire acquisition guys, disposition guys, all these other things, all these fun things that are fun to say on the internet. I'm like, but it comes back to having a payroll account, comes back to having cash reserves, comes back to the 100,000. You know what I mean? If you're not there, you're not there. And there's nothing wrong. That's a big thing that most people miss. There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying and selling 4 or 5 houses a year, making $200,000 and living your best life and having all this free time. You know what I mean? Like, if I knew what I knew today, Corey's just on that plan 24/7. You know what I mean? I'm doing 5 houses a year. Now, when a recession comes, you better hold some of that money because you're not going to have that passive income. I like the multifamily because we are somewhat recession proof. We do have, that quality income that comes in every month. But, as far as building it and the stress involved and all that kind of stuff, it takes a special kind of grit to stick with it and do it. It's not for everybody. And if one flip is fucking stressing you the fuck out, you don't need to go take on an apartment complex at all.
Yeah, getting more into real estate is definitely we started really small. When we first started RKG 3 years ago, it was just Robbie and I. We have scaled significantly. We started our entire company with 15 grand and our payroll is 3 times that a week now. So we have scaled this company, gotten really, and I've learned a lot of real estate through renovations and doing house flipping and working right next to investors while they're doing all of this. And then of course I've, read probably 20 books on it and been to a couple Propelio events and been in some of these groups like yours on Facebook. And I've just been picking up little nuggets here and there. So that's it's been funny because this last year we really painted kind of what Robbie's success looks like. He's got his boat and his motorcycles and all that great stuff now. And now I'm like, okay, now it's my turn to start taking this money and start doing what I want with it. And flips and rentals are definitely something that's on my radar within the next 12. I'm looking for a house right now. I'm just really struggling. I think that's really the hardest part is just finding the property. You seem to do so good at that. I feel like I just claw through stuff and I'm like, that ain't it.
Well, you said earlier, you're not into numbers. I'm only numbers. It's like I underwrite it. What kind of return is it going to give me if I have to rent it out? What kind of return is it going to give me if I have to owner finance it? Mm-hmm. How much private capital am I going to have to source if I can't get a bank loan? How protected is that private capital? And then, let the market decide if it's a flip, rental, or own finance, which means exposing it to the full market on MLS and then listening to the feedback. We've got 2 that we tried to sell on MLS. We're having to fix them and rent them. There's no harm in they work as
no, and that's really the place, because I know, because I've learned all of that. I really wanted to set myself up for a really good place that when I do buy, in the event that the market maybe not even plummets, but just shifts. I watched that happen to a couple investors that we were working with out in the Dallas market, I guess a year or 2 ago. But I mean, these really high-end houses were just selling like hotcakes, and then all of a sudden the market shifted and it started turning more towards $300,000 homes. A lot of our realtor investors were able to get in front of that curve a little bit faster. Some of the other ones ended up, I mean, one of them I know is still sitting on this house, and it's been like that for about a year and a half. And when you're talking over a $500,000 home, I mean, that's some holding cost that's just sitting there. Yes. So that's what I've been I mean, and not everybody can go get approved to refinance $600,000 to an $800,000 home. So I really want to make sure that I'm sticking within something that in the event that I had to refinance it and go a different direction, whether it's Airbnb, rental, whatever the case may be, that's practical for me in the season that I'm in. So I really feel like I just got there where I feel comfortable with, cash reserves, knowledge, having multiple options as an out after I buy. And now it's just finding the damn house. It's just
200,000 and less. Now, something you can do, and this is another shameless plug, because I don't. And by the way, does Kimba still rap? There's a question on the screen for you.
I saw that, and I'm working on something right now. Y'all just stay tuned. We might just be coming out with a little version of the Shingle Ladies here pretty soon. So,
ooh, are you gonna when Roughneck to Real Estate? I put that in there because I thought it was funny, and the very first comment was, "It would have been better if you'd have been outside." And I was like, "What does that even mean?"
I know.
Why
the
does
sound
that
would have been better. I'm like, dude, it's my kid's iPhone playing the music and my iPhone recording it. Like, the sound would have been better if I would have went to a studio.
So somebody's having an event called Drip at the beginning of April, and he was like, who's next as a speaker? And I literally went to Snapchat and cut my face out of a picture and put it on top of it and put it onto his status. So it took me like 10 minutes. But here's the Propelio Driving for Dollars app. I don't know if y'all can see this.
I've seen that, but I don't have it.
For $98 a month, it comes with, you get the Driving for Dollars app, and then all your guys that are already in the field, that are already out driving around, you train them on how to spot vacant houses, and then you get a really good vacant house list. And if you don't know how to market to them or whatever, then hit us up. We'll help you get a market. But then you'll have, when you've got that many boots on the streets as a roofing contractor, knocking doors, sales people out, they're going to find the vacant houses way before I do. Because what am I doing? I'm sitting in an office talking with you this morning. You know what I mean? So you've got a whole sales force out there. It's $98 a month, and you can get that app, and they can just build lists for you.
I haven't even considered leveraging them for that, but that's a really good idea.
Well,
if I buy the house, they get a referral off of it.
Yes, and you're already going to buy the gas. You're already going to pay the time. That doesn't add that much time to a day. It's just a resource. Donnie Ruffin, when he got started, he was doing door-to-door sales for DirecTV, and that's how he knew where all the vacant houses were. He had a sales team. He would drive the van. He would drop them off at the end of a street, and he trained them to write down the vacant houses. We didn't have all this technology, so this streamlined it. But yeah, he was killing it in real estate for a long time, and everybody's like, "Where are you getting your leads from?" And it was because he was out doing door-to-door sales with a sales team working underneath them. He trained them all to find their vacant houses. So that was
nice.
That's great. What I think of. That's where the creative side of the business, whenever I'm like looking at your business going, what advantage do you have over all of us? One is you have $45,000 a week in payroll that can all be bird dogs that can make bonuses if you are able to find and capitalize on a vacant house, because there's no better list out there. I don't care what anybody tells you. A water shutoff list, way before they quit paying their water bill, they quit mowing their grass.
Yeah.
They're going to live with water and take a shower long after they fire their lawn guy and sell their lawnmower to pay their water bill. You know what I mean? Like, that's just reality.
It's ironic because I already teach them that in the opposite way of you know, if somebody's already fired their lawn guy, they might not be your ideal customer for replacing their roof. But that would be a really great person to ask if they want to sell their house to. So that's
True.
I'm glad you fed me that little idea today because I'll probably use that. That's a good idea.
So yeah, that's kind of stuff. But you know, and then when you underwrite that deal, make sure it works as a rental. Make sure that you're going into it, underwriting it like I'm going to own this. Deal with tenants and toilets. If you can do a different exit strategy, that's great. But if it doesn't work as a rental, don't kid yourself and be like, oh, this will be fine, and then get caught on an outside force that'll really jack you up. So, anyways, what else? You plug your business, plug your sister's business. Plug my Vegas mastermind. Like, I don't have a website.
I just hate Vegas. I can't help you with that. I don't even like Vegas.
What?
Stinks there. Stinks.
Wow.
I don't know. Cigars.
Oh no. Piss.
The
Yeah,
whole place smells bad.
I've peed on the street in Vegas. I'm the reason why you hate Vegas. Like I've peed on the street more in Vegas.
Just wherever behind a gas station.
It's like I don't know, like
desert.
Just wherever. You know, I peed on an escalator one day. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Everybody's just drunk and messed up, just doing what I don't know. It's just like, not my jam.
Can't hold this. I don't even know where I'm at. Like how the hell am I going to find a bathroom if I don't know where I'm at? I'm going to be on this escalator. So
I don't know. I would hold it till I got back to my room. But my company is RKG Roofing and Renovations. Look us up on Facebook. As Corey mentioned, we're very active on social media. We're on Instagram and Snapchat, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. But on there, you can see a lot of videos of roofing projects. I run one Facebook for all of RKG, and I used to not do that. I used to have two separate pages, one for roofing and one for renovations. And I started realizing that a lot of people knew us for roofing and a lot of people knew us for renovations, but a lot of people didn't know we did both. So I really like to now highlight the fact that we're a one-stop shop. We do use in-house crews on our renovation side, and I think that that's really awesome. We skip a lot of the drama of using subcontractors and things like that. These guys are hourly that are on our payroll that do all of our houses. So it's the same quality of work every time, and that's really important from the customer's perspective. And from mine, you don't have to deal with all the drama of somebody, subcontractor trying to lean your stuff because GC didn't pay them and all of that great stuff. That doesn't happen with us. On our roofing side, super proud of our roofing side too. We use all upgraded components. You had mentioned my video earlier, so those are synthetic underlayment. We use ice and water shield in the valleys around all of our penetrations on all the eaves. We're really big sticklers when it comes to proper ventilation. A lot of people skip over that. So if you don't go with RKG for your roof, go with somebody that is going to talk to you about ventilation, because that's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run, and not enough people pay attention to it. You know, heat built up in the attic costs you on your energy bill. It causes the granules to pop off your roof early. And unfortunately, your insurance company does not cover mechanical damage like that, only storm damage. So it's really important to go with somebody that's going to be using proper ventilation. You know, we build out, one of the big benefits to our realtors, investors, things like that is our timelines. My roofing side, from contract signing, I'll have that roof built out within 3 days. So it doesn't hold up closing. You know, a lot of times you'll get down to closing and then the home inspector ding the roof. And it's like, shit, now we got to do that before we can even close on this house. That's why a lot of my realtors like to work with me. They'll send that over to me. I'm like, no big deal. Don't push closing out a month. We'll get this roof built out this week. Go on with your merry business. And then on our
renovations. Build the title company? So do y'all invoice at the title company and get paid at closing?
No.
Oh.
Usually we're going through the seller's insurance.
Oh, okay. Oh, that works out.
It does work out, and a lot of people will try to do it that way. Hey, let me pay you at closing when I get paid on the house. But the seller's insurance, when the storm occurred, let's say, you know, a storm happened in April. Well, in April, that house was covered by insurance. Whether it is right now or not, I mean, it probably still is. But whatever insurance company had it at the time that the storm came through is the one that's going to end up covering it. So that's a lot. Just knowing that right there is a lot off of a lot of people's back when they're trying to sell houses, because it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. You paid for insurance at that time. Thank you.
So we do something where if we do a listing for somebody and their house needs work, we'll say, hey, here's, we're going to list it for X number of dollars, like 150,000. We're going to put 10,000 towards upgrades in the house.
Yeah.
And then, so a buyer will come along and they'll be like, oh man, I get the HGTV. And then we'll bring in a contractor like you. You'll say for $10,000, we can do this kitchen, cabinets, countertops, whatever. And they're like, okay, this is the design I want. They do it. You go do the work, and then it gets paid at closing. And the seller who doesn't have any money, and that's why they need to sell their house, it doesn't have to worry about fixing it. We do that a lot.
Awesome.
Because, and that brings value to both sides because, our contractor, and then we're kind of sitting there in the back that if it doesn't go through, then we pay,
yeah, and that's the only thing. I've been burned like that a couple times where I agreed to wait till closing, and then closing didn't happen, and then the seller didn't have any money to pay for it, and it's been one of those things. It's only happened a couple times. And it's really all about relationship with me. I mean, if I feel really good about the people that I'm working with, then that's fine. But a lot of times it's just a non-issue because the seller's insurance will pay for it. The buyer gets to pick the color, so they're getting to add their little thing on the house, and it ends up being a little bit funner for them because they get to choose the roof that goes on.
Right,
and a lot of times we're able to upgrade it.
Yeah, they're going to pick that house that they get to do something on versus the house that they don't, which is why we offer that in the listing because, anybody can go buy a house with granite. How many people get to buy a house with the granite that they picked out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I just love about renovations is because you get to take an older home that has a lot of character and really make it your own. We're finishing up one. It'll be done on Friday. So y'all watch out for our page for our live video on this one. It's awesome, but all the way down to, light dimmers in the house because the lady has cataract surgery, to where every wall is, to how the sink looks out these beautiful open windows straight to her pool because that's her happy zone. So now when she's at her sink in her kitchen, she gets to see out to her beautiful back patio, and it's really every detail of that house is crafted to that person. So, I mean, I love that idea because it makes the house so much more sellable. People know, oh, wow, I already have a built-in $10,000 to $20,000 renovation. If there's anything small in this house that I just think is super ugly, I'll use that money. When they walk the property, they're already thinking, how am I going to use that money? What would I change here? How can I make this my own? And
they don't want to look at the next house. You know what I mean? They just want to do the HGTV thing. So that's something we do. Like whenever you call us, you want us to buy your house. We can't make an offer work, but your house is a little beat up. When our agent lists it, that's the incentives that he puts on the house to get it to sell, to get people through the door, to get people to look at it, stuff like that. So it's the creative side. It's the chess game. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's all it is. So Kimba, I appreciate you coming. You said, what is it, a 30 minutes? I said, sometimes we go an hour and a half.
And here we are. I was literally just looking at that. I'm like, oh my God, I've been in the same spot for an hour and a half.
I know.
And I'm fun, like, my phone. Thank you for having me on. Super random today, but.
Well, I appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll actually be updating where we're at with all of our projects. So you might tune in and see,
for sure.
See how we, how behind we are, because we're always behind, probably like you.
Yeah. So
appreciate it, Kimba. We'll do it again next week. Later.
And boat.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.